Hello YouTube, SpeedSpider3 here, and today I am back with another Minecraft mod showcase. Today I am showcasing a mod called Blood Magic by Way of Time. Now what this mod does is it adds a new form of magic into the game that is fueled by blood, actually, by life essence. I don't like you. And yeah, so it's a really big mod. I imagine this is going to be at least a 3-part video. What the heck? Eh. I imagine this is going to be at least a 3-part video. So in this first episode here, I'll be covering the basics and getting started with blood magic. So let's begin. So the absolute first thing you're going to need to make is a blood altar. And if you look that up in here, it's not terribly cheap, but it's not too expensive. It's just 2 gold ingots, some smooth stone, a furnace, and a diamond. If you get one of those and throw it down in the world, then you're already ready to begin. Now, this thing has no GUI, so you can't actually do anything with it yet. The next thing you're going to need to get is a sacrificial knife, and this is just crafted. Piece of gold, some glass, and iron ingot, and just the sacrificial knife. And now you are ready to begin. Whoa, lag spike. So, as you can see, this thing has nothing inside of it right now. However, if you stand near it and just right-click the sacrificial knife, it'll take out a small amount of your health and start filling it up. And right-clicking once will hit you for 1 heart of damage and fill it with 200 life essence at a time. So, just boom, 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 boom. We've now put 5 hearts in there, which translates to 1,000 life. So, not too bad. We have 1,000 life essence in there. And right now, this thing can hold a maximum of 10,000 life essence. And I believe if we wait, that first 1,000 will drain. Let's wait just a minute. Okay, I don't think so. So, now that we've got some life essence in there, we can start going with the mod. So, first thing you're going to want to do once you've got this stuff set up is grab a diamond. And make sure you have 1,000 life essence in here, which is 5 hearts. So let's just in case. And then just right-click your diamond in there. And if you watch it, are my particle effects off? Oh. And if you watch it, it'll start giving off red particle effects. And it'll drain about 1,000 life essence out of there. Whoa, that's kind of buggy. Okay, whatever. It'll drain 1,000 life essence out of there, so we gotta wait just a minute. Yee. Come on. This is taking a really long time, actually. Come on. I'll go over specifically what... Oh, there we go. See? That was just behaving really weird. Huh. Well, once we've got that, it'll give us this thing, a weak blood orb. One of the first items in the mod that you need to get started. So, first thing you want to do once you've got a weak blood orb is just right-click with it. It's going to damage you a little bit, and then it'll bind it to you, current owner SpeedSpider3. Now, once it's bound to you, it's bound to you. You can give it to other players, and it will still be bound to you. No matter what happens with it, its effects will be carried out from your mana pool, or your life essence. Now, once we've got a weak blood orb, we can start crafting. One of the first things you can craft is a Divination Sigil, and you want to get this crafted pretty much immediately. As you can see, you can use any of the different orbs, the weak blood orb being the lowest here, and I'll go over how to make all the different ones later. It just requires 7 glass, a weak blood orb, and a blank slate. Now a slate is pretty easy to make. You just need a piece of smooth stone in a tier 1 altar with 1000 life essence. The altars do operate on a tier system, so that's how you get that. Now, so for example, to get a blank slate, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts, or that translates to 1000 life essence, and a piece of stone. Throw the stone in there. Give it a minute. This one should really go pretty quickly. Oh, there we go. And it'll give you a blank slate. As you can see, you've got a blank slate. And now you can grab that Divination Sigil. Now, what the Divination Sigil does is it allows you to check information on life essence. So if you right-click on nothing in particular, it'll tell you how much essence you have in your own life pool. And that's your own life essence pool. And as you can see, it's at 200 life points right now. If we right-click with our weak blood orb, it'll deal 1 heart, and it'll increase it 400, and we can just click with that a few times. And as you can see, we're now up to 2200. Or if you right-click your blood altar, it'll tell you the tier, the capacity, and the amount of life points that are currently in it. So as you can see, it's currently at 0 life points. It's currently a tier 1, and it has a max capacity of 10,000. So there are a lot of different sigils, like this Divination Sigil, that you can craft. So why don't we just look at a few of those. As you can see, there's not a lot, but like there's a few, and they're all really cool. So, some of the cheapest ones you can make are the Water Sigil and the Lava Sigil. The Water Sigil is just 7 water buckets, another blank slate, and a blood orb. The weak blood orb works for this. And then the Lava Sigil is similar. It requires a lava crystal, 6 lava buckets, a magma cream, and a blank slate. The lava crystal is crafted like so, and this can be done with a weak blood orb. Can it? Yes, okay. And this will craft a lava crystal, and we'll go over what this does later. So now, once we've got these, the first thing you want to do is, currently they don't do anything. As you can see, this just says infinite water anyone. However, if we right-click with it, it'll say current owner Speed Spider 3. Now what this means is that it's bound to me. So I can give it to another player, and instead of myself, so I can give it to another player, and they can use it and right-click with it, and it'll create a block of water. You know, nothing too fancy. However, if I give it to another player, and they use it, it'll still do the same thing. However, it will drain from my life pool, not theirs. Okay. So, let's get this Divination Sigil again. As you can see right now, we have 1000 life points. Why don't we get a bit more in there? And now we have 2800. So we right-click with the Water Sigil, and that brings it... that brought us down to 2700. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. So we have... I'm not thinking today. 3100. Right-click with that. Now we're down to 3000. So it drains 1000 life points to use that. Now if you give it to another player, or not 1000, 100 life points, it drains 100 life points to use that, and if you give it to another player, it'll drain 100 of your life points to use it, not theirs, because it is bound to you. And we are currently at 3000. If we use the Lava Sigil, it does the same thing, except it drains 1000 life points, so it's quite a bit more expensive. And these are just 2 of the most basic sigils. So now we can go into more detail on some of the other sigils. Let's see which ones. This one, so like the Air Sigil, this one can be crafted with a weak blood orb, if I recall. It can't. This is a tier 2. I think those are the only ones that can be crafted with the weak blood orb. That's okay, it's not too bad getting up to tier 2, but why don't we go over some of these sigils. So, the Air Sigil. This one's really fun. We have 2000 life points. We right-click with it, and it'll send us flying forward. and it uses 50 life points per right click. So if we just right click a few times, we can use it for flight at the cost of 50 points per right click. So that's really, really cool. However, as you saw, you will take fall damage if you're not careful with it. So that's the air sigil. That one's really fun. And by the way, you can kill yourself with the weak blood orb and the sacrificial knife, so be careful of that. So the air sigil, I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'll go over some of the cooler ones. We've got the sigil of the fast miner. This one, unlike most of the other sigils we've dealt with so far, is a toggle sigil. So why don't we get just, I don't know, a stone shovel. And I can display this. So if we mine a block here, saw how long that takes. However, activate the sigil of the fast miner, and if we look at this, we've got 2450. Activate it, costs 100 to activate, and then every 10 seconds it'll drain another 100. And while it's active, you have haste too, which will increase your mining speed. So deactivate it, and then activate it. It's a little bit faster. So that one's really fun. What are some other fun ones? Just a second. Sigil of the Green Grove. This one's pretty cool. Let's get a hoe real quick. That's not how you spell that. Get a hoe. And some seeds. Take it down to some water over here. So if we just get some of this tilled up, plant some of these seeds. So first of all, it acts like bone meal on a right click, and let's see how much it costs. So 2250, right click, it bone meals it, and it costs 150 per. Or you can toggle it, and it'll essentially bone meal all the plants in the area. Now it costs 150 to toggle it on, and then 150 every few seconds that it remains on. However, while it's on, it'll constantly bone meal any plants in a small area with you. Now, this isn't exactly bone meal. Instead of bone mealing the plant, it increases its growth tick, for those of you that know the difference, which means that you can actually use it on things like sugarcane and cactus, and it will increase that growth rate as well. So that's the sigil of the Green Grove. I'm not going to go over all the sigils, just a couple of them. Because, yeah. Which one was it? One of the cooler ones. Let's look at Sigil of the Phantom Bridge. So Sigil of the Phantom Bridge, while it's active, if we come over here, it will create a bridge at your feet. Now, it won't follow you up into the air. However, so like you can fly up. However, if you hold shift, then it will actually create a bridge under your feet. And you can just disable that, and the bridge will eventually disappear behind you. So don't count on it forever. How much do we have left in my... Oh dear. Yeah, so you gotta be sure to keep an eye on your life essence pool, because some really nasty stuff can begin to happen if you don't. Yeah. So there's that stuff. Those are some of the cooler sigils. Why don't we go through one more sigil real quick? Is it Sigil of Suppression? I think it's Sigil of Suppression. Yeah. The Sigil of Suppression. So now if we take this over here, as you can see, we've got some water here. However, if we just toggle on the Sigil of Suppression, it'll push all the water back around us and keep it away from us. Now, if we toggle it back off, then the water source blocks will actually replenish themselves. And this works with lava too. So this will suppress both water and lava. Those are easily some of the coolest sigils in the game. Now, to get most of these sigils, you're going to need at least a tier 2 blood altar. So to go about upgrading your blood altar, what you're going to want to make is some blood runes. And these aren't too bad to make, and you need 8 for the next tier. It's just 6 smooth stone, 2 blank slates for 1 blood rune, plus your weak blood orb. And then you just dig the 8 blocks around it. And now you've got this. And if we right click it now, we've now got a tier 2 altar. And this will allow us to make some better stuff. Starting with, and why don't I just clear my inventory a bit here. And get my divination sigil back, because I kind of need that. Starting with the, what's it called? Knife? No. The Dagger of Sacrifice. So if we check this out, it's just an iron sword in a tier 2 altar with 3,000 life points, and that'll give you a Dagger of Sacrifice. Now, if we just get some spawn eggs, we'll say sheep and spider. And spider. Now, if we use this, you can see it's only a heart of damage, not too terribly useful. It doesn't take any durability damage, though, so that's a plus. However, if you take something over near this and hit it, it will instantly kill it, and it will drain its life points into your altar. So, put down the sheep. We've currently got 250. Kill the sheep. We're up to 500. If we do that... Oh. We do that with a spider. Kill it. It gave us another 500. So weaker hostile mobs are going to give you 500 life points, and non-hostile mobs, such as sheep and cows, are going to give you 250 life points. So this is much better, because you don't have to stand around just murdering yourself. Now, why don't we load 2? Where did my divination sigil go? Oh, that's great. I put it in. I was hoping to throw it to the ground. So, beyond just creating a blood altar, there are more ways of upgrading it. And these are called runes. Now, at a tier 2 blood altar, you can only have a maximum of 4 runes. 1 on each side. 1 on each of the cardinal directions to the altar itself. But there are a lot of different runes you can make. One of which is the Rune of Augmented Capacity. So we see right now this has a max of 10,000. So why don't we just trade that off, trade that in. Give it a second. Why is it not? It's not working. Why is it not working? Guys, help! It's not working! That's odd. What a Rune of Augmented Capacity does is when applied to a blood altar, it will increase its capacity by a small amount. I think it's like 1,500 more. It'll add 1,500 more capacity. Why this isn't working, I'm not entirely positive. So we've still got the tier 2, whereas if we take that out, we've got tier 1. Odd. Okay, so runes do not appear to be working right now. That's kind of odd. Well, I'll go through and tell you what the runes do anyhow. The Rune of Augmented Capacity will increase the max capacity of life essence in there. The Rune of Dislocation we'll go over a little later. Rune of the Orb we will go over later. Rune of Superior Capacity we'll go over later. And yeah, the rest of these we can go over right now. So the Rune of Augmented Capacity will increase its max capacity. The Speed Rune will improve the speed at which it crafts items, so that one can be really useful. Efficiency Rune. This one I need to go over a little bit better. So, when you put an item in, if you don't have enough life essence to complete the item, the red particles that usually come off will turn white. And why don't we drain the essence out so I can show you that. So let that go for a bit. Okay, blank slate. Now we have 0 life points in there, right? We have 0 life points. So if we take something and try to put it in, let's get a sacrificial dagger. You need to have at least a little bit in there. It's going to start crafting it, but it's going to run out, and it'll start giving off white particle effects. Now what this means is it doesn't have enough to continue, and this is actually really bad because it will just waste all the life points you've put in there so far. The life points that were in there will just start to disappear, and your progress will reset. The efficiency runes will slow that effect, make it so it doesn't activate quite as quickly. Oh, there we go. Capacity 12,000. See? I know what I'm doing. Well, that's what the efficiency runes. The rune of sacrifice. Now, if you remember, you can sacrifice mobs in here in order to get some life essence in there. Well, what the rune of sacrifice does is it makes it so every animal you kill provides you with a little bit more life essence than it already would. Rune of self-sacrifice is the same thing, except it's for when you're using your own life points in it. And that is all the runes. Now remember, with a tier 2 blood altar, you can only have 4 runes, 1 on each side of the thing. So, with a tier 2 blood altar, there's not much you can do. However, it does open your options quite a bit more, including allowing you to create the Apprentice Blood Orb, which is an emerald, 5,000 life points, and a tier 2 altar. So why don't we get 5,000 in there? 5, that's 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there should be 5,000 in there now. So if we just grab an emerald, and why don't we put speed runes on here to try and get this going as quickly as possible. Oops. So we just need 4 speed runes. And now we throw that in there. It'll start crafting. And as you can see, it's draining the life points out as it goes. So we gotta wait for it to pour 5,000 life points in there, which is quite a bit, so it's gonna take a while. So you can see it dropping. Slowly but surely it's dropping. So, and done. Now you just right click it with an empty hand, and you got the Apprentice Blood Orb. Now let's look at what this can craft. Alchemic Chemistry, we can't go over that yet. I'll go over that in the next episode. So this can be used to craft the Lava Crystal. Oh, I forgot to go over that. I'll have to go over that real quick. Next, it can be used to craft a lot more sigils than the other one does. The Void Sigil, Rune of the Orb, Air Sigil, Sigil of the Fast Miner, Rune of Sacrifice, Rune of Self-Sacrifice. It opens to a lot of different crafting abilities. So you're going to need to get this at some point or another. Now, it is about time I wrap up, but before I do, since I forgot to show you guys the Lava Crystal, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Lava Crystal, and let's get a Furnace. I actually did not want 64 of those. Furnace, and let's just make sure I have these in case I need them. So, I currently have 4,600. Well, if I take this, put it in here in a normal fuel slot, and this will work for anything that accepts normal fuel, like coal or wood, and you can put that in there. Oh, gotta remember to bind it to yourself. It'll start cooking, and right now I have 4575. So if we wait just a minute for this to cook, after it drains one thing, we'll have 4550. Now, why don't we drain out a bunch of my stuff so I can show you. Actually, I do not want those. I want the lava sigil. So I can show you what happens. So now if we just... I have 1525? Good. So now I have 500 life points. Not a whole lot. First of all, if you try to do something that you don't have enough life points for, this costs 1,000 life points and I only have 475. It'll instead drain directly from your life, however much it requires to activate the sigil. So you want to be extremely careful in making sure you have enough. That's going to bother me. And then, in addition to that, I actually did not want to do that. Let's get a water sigil. So, if we drain out some of this, how much do we have? 400? And, okay, cool. So now we have 75. This is going to keep smelting. 50. Let me show you what happens if you run out of life points while something is running an active ability. 25. Just gotta wait for this to finish. Good, we now have 0 life points. So this is going to keep running and it's going to finish this activation. However, since we have 0, and this only happens with active ones, it's going to give me nausea and it's going to stop working. And this nausea is going to continue without stopping until you take this out. Once you've taken that out, the nausea will end. But if you don't have enough life points to continue, the function will stop and you will get permanent nausea. So it's not as nasty as using an active ability, but it still sucks. So just try to avoid it if you can. Now, as for today, that's about all the time we have, because that's running right about 30 minutes. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. In the next episode, I will cover a few more things, including I will upgrade this to a tier 3 and maybe a tier 4 altar. I will cover alchemic chemistry and show you guys a few rituals, and maybe if we have time, I'll look at a few more of the sigils. So if you're still here, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you'd like to see more of my content, please hit that subscribe button. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.